vision is the practice room, then it's not such an interesting vision to share. But if your vision is your feelings, your emotions, your experiences, that's what art is. Because when you're in that focus thing, you might miss, some of the world around you, and the world around you is also going to make you a better musician. Putting yourself in situations where you're forced to use your natural reflexes and where you're not safe, but also having times where you get to, refine and perfect. It's all part of being a good musician. A lot of times we practice scales, we practice things that are, seem like they're going to build our technique, but then when it's time to solo and improvise, that's what comes out is these scales rather than music. So the other suggestion I would have that it's probably true for classical and jazz or improvised music is practice what you want to sound like. It's not always an idiom. A lot of times it's the person in the idiom. Like I hear somebody playing, I go, wow. So when I heard Charlie Parker, I just thought that was great, and I wasn't smart enough to realize it would be really hard to do on a banjo, so I tried to learn it. Or somebody like Chick Corea, things like that. And so,
hi, hey, my name's John. I'm also a jazz player.
Yeah, what do you play?
Bass player.
Bass.
And I was wondering, you've performed and recorded in so many different styles of music, and I was wondering how you prepare yourself for entering a new genre, especially one that doesn't traditionally have banjo in it.
Well, the key is to be myself and find a way to be me in that situation. And that I think is the sort of the sneaky trick of the whole thing is I'm not actually doing anything different in any of these musics that I play in. I'm playing the banjo, I've got my finger picks, I've got my fingers, I've got my brain. It's either rhythmic, which it often is, and which I'm pretty good at because the banjo is really a percussion instrument. So if it's got rhythm, I can enter the music through the rhythm. If I understand the chords, that's a big help. That was hard with Chick Corea because I didn't understand the chords at first. So, but we had, my entree there was also rhythm. So that's my strong suit. So I would say wherever your strongest suit is, you can use that to get in. And once you're in and you're functioning, you can just start improving all your skills that you find weak or looking for your own solutions to things. Because I think the thing is, you get good at what you do. So the problem that I always see, and this is back to the practice room, is where, like if you think of your practices, like the things you could do with your time versus the amount of energy you have, or like the water that waters a garden. You pour all the water in one spot, this part of the garden is going to get really rich, but the rest of it might be kind of dry. If you pour the water everywhere, nothing's going to get very high. It's all going to, maybe be, relatively healthy, but nothing's going to be exceptional. So you have to think about your time, because the more time goes by, the older I get, the more what I realize that the time is your greatest asset. That's the juice, that's the battery, that's what you have to use to achieve your goals, whatever they are. So you kind of have to use your brain to assess, partly where is that time most practically used. Maybe some of that time, maybe some of the time is discretionary. It's like, you got to have some to do with what you love, And if you're lucky and you can make what you love, a lot of your water gets poured into that. You're gonna see growth where you pour your energy. So I think sometimes the process of getting our toolkit together to be successful as musicians, we're not always thinking about, well, what's the point of this whole enterprise anyway? Not just to be good enough to play in an orchestra and make a living, but very few people will become the soloist, but actually making art, making music that has a soul and a beauty to it, and shares something about you to the listener, because that's to me what's